When a woman looks at a man and says, "Do better," the phrase sounds simple, even motivational, but psychologically, it carries far more weight and a completely different meaning than most men realize. Men interpret it as a request for improvement. Women use it as a signal of emotional dissatisfaction, and beneath that dissatisfaction lie layered expectations, unspoken needs, and subtle perceptions that shape the dynamic of modern relationships. Today, we will analyze the psychological reality behind the phrase "do better" and why it affects men so deeply. We are not interpreting feelings. We are breaking down patterns, calmly, clearly, objectively. Let's begin with the first truth. Do better is rarely about the specific moment. It reflects an accumulated emotional score. A woman does not say, "do better," the first time something bothers her, or the second, or even the third. She says it when a pattern has formed in her mind, a pattern of unmet expectations, declining admiration, or emotional fatigue. To men, it sounds like a single request. To women, it represents the moment her patience transitions into disappointment. The second psychological truth is this: do better is often a substitute for unexpressed emotional needs women struggle to articulate. Women expect emotional understanding without having to spell out every detail. They believe a man should know, should notice, should respond intuitively. When he doesn't, instead of explaining the need directly, she compresses all unresolved emotion into 2 words: do better. It is not a directive. It is a plea for recognition. The third truth is rooted in gendered communication patterns. Men hear "do better" as criticism. Women intend it as recalibration. Men operate in a binary framework: doing well or failing. Women operate in a fluid framework where emotional alignment must be continuously adjusted. So when a woman says "do better," she isn't always saying, "you're not enough." She is often saying, "we're drifting. Realign with me." But because men attach performance to self-worth, the phrase hits them like an attack rather than an adjustment request. The fourth truth is psychological conditioning. Women often use "do better" when they lack the emotional tools to engage in direct conflict. Conflict requires clarity. Clarity requires vulnerability. Vulnerability requires safety. If she feels emotionally unsafe, unheard, or unseen, she avoids the specifics. She generalizes. She compresses. She shifts from detail to directive. Do better is a defense mechanism disguised as instruction. The fifth truth is this: women say "do better" when admiration is slipping. Admiration is the oxygen of romantic love. When admiration declines, attraction follows. What causes admiration to drop? Inconsistency, lack of initiative, emotional passivity, unaddressed conflict, complacency, failure to grow, ignoring her emotional signals. Instead of saying, "I'm losing respect," or "I'm starting to disconnect," she picks a softer phrase: "do better." But the psychological meaning is far sharper. Reignite the version of you I once admired. The sixth truth relates to emotional labor. Women use "do better" when they feel they are carrying the relationship's emotional weight alone. When she feels like she initiates the conversations, she notices the problems, she drives the solutions, she protects the connection, she adjusts for harmony, she eventually reaches emotional exhaustion. Do better becomes shorthand for, "I cannot carry both of us anymore." The seventh truth is rooted in feminine perception. Women evaluate effort, not outcome. A man may think, "I fixed the issue." I improved the situation. I made changes. But if the effort behind the changes doesn't feel authentic, consistent, or self-driven, she perceives the improvement as superficial. Do better means, I see actions, but I don't feel intention. Men do not naturally communicate intention through subtlety. Women read intention through everything. This mismatch fuels frustration. The eighth truth reveals the deepest emotional layer. When a woman says, do better, she is often asking the man to become the version of himself she believes he is capable of being. Women fall in love with potential more often than men realize. They see depth in him before he expresses it. They see strength before he steps into it. They see leadership before he embodies it. Do better is sometimes a painful expression of unfulfilled potential. I know who you could be. Why aren't you choosing it? But when this expectation grows without being met, potential becomes disappointment, and disappointment becomes withdrawal. The ninth truth is the most misunderstood. Sometimes do better is not a request, but a warning. When a woman says it repeatedly, she is not motivating him. She is signaling, we are approaching a breaking point. She doesn't want to leave, but she also cannot stay in a relationship where emotional needs, connection, admiration, or effort continue to decline. Do better becomes the final attempt to repair the bond before emotional detachment begins. And once detachment begins, recovery becomes extremely difficult. The 10th and final truth explains why this phrase strikes men so deeply. Men want to be valued for who they are. Women want men to evolve into who they can be. This gap creates the misunderstanding. To men, do better feels like you're not enough. To women, it means we are capable of more than this. The phrase is not about perfection. It's about connection. It is not about failure. It is about misalignment. It is not about changing him into someone else. It is about wanting him to rise into the strength, consistency, and intention she believed he had from the beginning. Understanding this distinction turns conflict into clarity. It dissolves defensiveness. It transforms two painful words into an opportunity for emotional alignment. Because beneath do better lies the truest message a woman rarely says out loud. Show me the version of you I chose, and the version of you I know still exists.